So yes, before we begin, that is in fact my Christmas tree in February. So, hey folks, Drunken Homemaker here, and today I want to talk about something that hopefully we all deal with at some point in our lives or another, and that I am very, very strongly feeling right now. So I want to talk about it, which is fear or feeling scared. And fear is a four-letter word in more than one way. I, first of all, I took a little bit of a break last week because I went out of town for a wedding, which was wonderful and like so needed, and just, it was great. It was in Vegas. It was really nice. The weather was great. I really enjoyed it. It was great altogether. So I feel like right before I left on my trip, a lot of things started happening that sort of shook me a little bit. First of all, I kind of threw out my back doing yoga. That happened. So it was not a good feeling because I was so good about my morning routine and I was so good about, being active and eating healthy. I was doing so well, and then I had that happen, and it really kind of just shook me a bit because I literally I had to call out for the afternoon and I didn't feel well even the next day, and then we had to take our flight, and the connecting flight we had to sort of run through the airport, which is not fun to do with a back that's just like non-functioning. So long story short, I got back from my mini vacation slash wedding trip, and I had such a great time, and it was such a good feeling that I got back and I really kind of spiraled really out of control in terms of not feeling great about my life, not feeling great about a lot of things happening in my life, and feeling really fearful about the unknown, the fear of the unknown, right? Not really knowing what direction my life is heading in, not really knowing what I should be working on. Last year kind of shook me a lot and changed me a lot, but also the end of last year kind of left me with this very open, like there's several directions that this can head in and I don't really know what to do. And that really has messed with me. I wanted to be very honest on my channel and let you know my struggles, and that's what I said in my last update, and that's what I want to stick to. So in talking to my best friend, which when you're having a bad day, if you have a best friend that listens to you, that can be empathetic and that's there for you, call your best friend and have that conversation. If you cannot, if you don't have that, luxury, surround yourself with, if you don't have the people, surround yourself with the people in other ways, podcasts, videos, YouTubers, things like that are positive, uplifting, that will not lead you astray for the most part. But I called her and I sort of had this conversation about how low I was feeling and how uncertain my future is right now, and just how fearful I was feeling. I was feeling very scared. She kind of reminded me, like, isn't this what your channel is about? Letting people know, letting people in, and letting people know that you're going through it, and not necessarily just documenting the good parts, because I think it's very easy to fall prey to, we're on social media and we see this very curated, awesome life, right, from all of our friends or people that we don't necessarily know directly, but people that we follow on Instagram, Twitter, etc., even Facebook, and it's all very curated, and it's all very like showing the highs and showing the parts of their life that they want you to see, right? And I wanted to be very careful about this channel not just being that, right? Obviously, I'm going to curate certain things. Most of the time when you see my plants behind me, it's because my living room is a mess. So most of the time when you see my plants behind me, it's because it's hiding some sort of mess. And also because plants make me happy, and I'm very proud of my plants, so that's what I show you, right? But it is a way of sort of curating a mess, I had a friend over the other day, and she walked in and she's so sweet. She was like, "Oh my God, your house is so beautiful. Your house is so beautiful." And I was just like, "Yeah, well, like look in that hallway where we have like all of our, hidden secrets where it's like, this is where we put all the mess, we all do it to a certain degree, but I wanted to be very careful on this channel to also show you like the very real stuff that I'm feeling where I'm not feeling great right now. I'm feeling very fearful of what's coming. The fact that I don't know what's coming, the fact that I don't know what this year holds for me. I know that I have certain goals in mind, but I have no idea where my road is leading. And that's terrifying, especially if you're a control freak like I am, especially if you're a planner like I am. I don't do well with uncertainty. I don't do well with uncertainty. I don't do well with change. That's not a good trait to have, but that is also true of me. I like to know what's coming. I like to be ready for it. I like to be able to prepare. And a lot of where I am at right now is really terrifying because I can't do any of those things. I wanted to share that because I feel like I don't really have an answer right now for you. In terms of how to get out of this. All I know is that I have given myself sort of like, I had this wonderful like mini vacation. I got to reconnect with old friends and I got to make new friends, and the vibe was right, and I was like, wow, this is so great. And so I went from like this really high to this really low of just feeling alone, cold because of course it's freezing here, and of course it's just the weather's bad, right? And feeling like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I here? And not really knowing my purpose, not really knowing where I'm going. All of these things really mess with me because I just like to know that stuff. But also acknowledging like, this is a moment that I think I need to document to sort of feel like I'm being authentic, feel like I'm leveling with you, and feel like I'm giving you a realistic portrayal of what it is to be on a journey and have your highs and have your lows. And I don't want to just show you the highs because I am definitely going through something right now. I don't know how to fix it. I'm sorry. All I know is that fear is a natural part of life. If we don't have fear in our lives, if we're not afraid of moving forward, if we're not afraid of doing something, it probably means that that thing is not worth doing, right? I think that we have to challenge ourselves. And so in that vein, I'm just going to, like I said, I don't have answers, but I will share this quote from Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And so that being said, what I plan to do, I want to speak specifically about my writing. I've been very fearful to start this play because I've been researching it for so long. I feel like I've been so excited about it for so long, and there's that fear of, what if it's a garbage play? What if I write this play and it's just not good? Sorry. So there's a very real fear there. And that fear, if you let it, can paralyze you, can just stop you dead in your tracks from moving forward. So as a result of that, I feel like I've been stalling a little bit. And actually, I'll take this opportunity. I will definitely send this link to my accountability partner, Tracy, who has received radio silence since last week from me. I'm definitely going through it, but I feel like I have to, in spite of the fear, get moving and do something, right? So forcing myself to just get it started. So for me, what I did was like the month of January, I was doing a lot of research, but not really being as good as I should have been about being adamant to document the research or set aside time to do the research, because it was sort of like a freebie for me. I was like, oh, well, it's so hard to document if you're doing research, right? And that's an excuse. And I want to be upfront about that. So I feel like in February, I'm going to be very good about, I'm just going to get started writing, like doing writing exercises and developing the outline for my play, because I need to get this done. Because it's time. Just, it's time. I feel like I've been stalling for so long because of fear, and I just need to rip the Band-Aid off. So I say all that to say, this weekend, I'm going to be very good about holding myself accountable and producing something that I'm proud of, and just getting started. And even if I'm not proud of it, at least I did it. And I think that sometimes that's another thing that gets in the way, especially if you're a perfectionist. A lot of times you will use the excuse of like, well, this isn't perfect, to just stop yourself from doing something. Or I don't think I'm in the right frame of mind, or I don't think, it's like the habit has to be there in spite of how you're feeling, in spite of the difficulties that you're feeling, or it has to just, you just have to write is the long and short of it. So I just wanted to take this time to sort of share with you that I have been sort of going through it. As you can tell, it's not, you know, it's not something that I am proud of, but it's also just part of being human. It's just like having your highs and your lows. And this has been an interesting week because, you know, I'm back to work, and, you know, sometimes you sort of are like looking around and just like, why do I do this? Like, why, you know, and I have to be really grateful, because in spite of all of that, like, the universe has been really good. The universe has been really good to me, and has my back no matter what. And even if I have my doubts about my future, even when I doubt that I'm on the right track, the universe goes out of its way to say, hey girl, I got you, you good, right? And that's so beautiful. I think that that's wonderful. So just, you know, if you are feeling fearful, I would say, let yourself feel it. Give yourself time to feel it, experience it to the fullest, and then give yourself a deadline and say, okay, this is it. You have this time to feel sorry for yourself. You have this time to be afraid, and then you're done. And you got to start doing something. Just start. Just start. So I say all of this to say, you're not alone. I am terrified. I'm scared out of my mind. But starting tomorrow, I'm getting up early, and I'm starting, because I have to. Because if I let my fear get the best of me, I will never write this play. And maybe it is a garbage play, but that's okay, because this garbage play might get me closer to, I will learn something from this process that will get me closer to something that's not garbage. Whether it's a play, whether it's a script for something else, whether it's developing content for my YouTube channel. I need to do this. I need to go through this process to give myself the opportunity to learn the lesson that needs to be learned here. And if you let fear stop you, you stop yourself from learning that lesson that you need to advance. Okay, so look at your life, look at your choices. What are you doing? Analyze. You know, do I feel stuck? Have I learned the lesson that I need to learn in order to advance? Food for thought. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because I'm struggling this week. And it's not like any one thing in my life. It's just a bunch of stuff, and that's just how life works. It's like, it's never just one thing, right? It's like all these little things that kind of compound the problem and make you feel like really uncertain, really unsteady. So I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. You are in good company. And also don't stay there. Don't let that paralyze you. Get started. If you are watching this, make yourself a deadline. Say, okay, you get to feel sorry for yourself for this amount of time, and tomorrow we start. We begin the journey. All right, well, that's it for me. I wanted to keep this one kind of short. I did get some feedback that these are kind of long. I will try, but I'm not good at being very concise. So thank you for joining me. Please comment below if you're going through it too. If you don't have to, but if you are going through something similar, I always think it's so important for us to sort of unite and say, hey, don't worry, you're not going through it alone. So comment below if you are going through it, if you are experiencing something similar. Like this video if this content is something that you would like to see more of, and subscribe, because that way you will know when I am posting videos. in a very consistent manner moving forward, right? Right. All right, folks, have a good one and enjoy your day and peace out and be awesome. I still haven't figured out the sign out. I'll work on it.